This right here is a mock draft for sickos. This is Trevor Skrmetta, top left. This Connor, top right. This is the NFL Stock Exchange. Bottom left, not me, face of the franchise. The other bottom left, Brett Kollmann. You may know him as well. Now listen, you know how usually I come on here and I say, well, you know, Mel Kiper does this, Todd McShay does this. You know, these guys have to, Field Yates does this. They have to sell, you know, ratings and they have to get their shows up and their clips or whatever. That's not these guys. These guys are in it. These guys are true ball knowers. All right. These guys are right up there with the best of them. They are in the weeds. So I can't wait to hear what they have to say. This was, I think, from like either today or yesterday. So this is recent. This is new. We're going to kind of briefly look at all the picks up until the Saints pick and then spend the most time on the Saints pick. But, I mean, they take like 40-something minutes to get to like the fifth pick, sixth pick. So it's a deep dive. So we're just going to kind of gloss over those, talk about it as a whole, and go from there.
3, 4, you know, things like that. They do an unbelievable job.
Best prospect in the class? No. But he is the best quarterback in the class. And he's at least good enough to justify it, especially when you look at what they currently have at quarterback. Like, you can't do another season of Will Levis. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
So I think you just kind of have to divorce the prospect grade from the reality of where this team is, and at least acknowledge that he's close enough that you're willing to take a swing on it because, I don't know, if you get fired anyway, who cares, right?
Super tough spot for the Titans. I mean, we haven't really talked about this a lot, but like Brett just said, Cam Ward, is he the best prospect in the draft? No. Is he a great quarterback prospect, like some of the more lauded quarterback prospects? No. But Titans have to have a quarterback. And in the NFL, got to have one. First overall pick of a quarterbackless team. Usually that means you're forced into taking one. So we'll see how it plays out with Cam Ward. I hope he succeeds. I like him. I think he has some limitations, especially as a first overall pick. But, I like the guy. I think he's awesome, but I don't envy the Titans spot because, I mean, a lot of people talk about the Saints moving down. Man, like the Titans, this is one of those years, like you might just want to move off this pick. Like you might just want to move off one, get Abdul Carter, get somebody else, and move on, keep it rolling. But so they go Titans 1, or Cam Ward 1 to the Titans. Let's go to the Browns.
I know they need a quarterback, but I am not considering one here with the two guys that we have at the very top of the draft board. What do you think?
No, obviously our top two players, and you and I have shared the same opinion on who the number one player in the draft is for a while now, although it's not consensus. You and I have shared that opinion that it's Travis Hunter. And when you look at the Browns in this spot, you can't go.
I was looking at something with Travis Hunter, and Travis is such a wild player because he's a cornerback, he's a defensive back, he's a wide receiver, he's, all this different stuff. What kind of receiver? I think it's almost a disservice to him that he is being billed as this kind of hybrid player. I think he is a legit generational level wide receiver as far as a prospect. Now, does that translate? Who knows? But he is a legit number one wide receiver prospect type player. And they're kind of muddying the waters with this idea of him playing defensive back and all that. I know he will. I know he will do it. But I think the sooner he shifts to just focusing on being a wide receiver, the better. I mean, he was insane at Colorado. Some of the stuff he does, just his route running, his route tree, his success percentage in that route tree. He is that damn good. Now, when you're the Browns, does that mean much? Because what do you do with the top wide receiver? I don't know. But I do think Travis Hunter, as a wide receiver, is very similar to Bijan as a running back or Ashton Jeanty as a running back as far as a prospect.
Go wrong with either player. I mean, imagine Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett screaming off the edges. That's absolutely insane. But I think that Travis Hunter would not only be really valuable to them at corner, but there's a lot he could do on offense for this team when you look at how it's constructed. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy really figured it out last year. Cedric Tillman, before he had the concussion, he had some really tough injury luck. He looked really good as maybe a number 3, but then you plug in Travis Hunter as this part-time number 2. Things look really different for this team real quickly. So I would go with Hunter here.
You know, it's kind of crazy with the Titans because, like we just said, it's like, man, it sucks. You know, you got to kind of just bite the bullet, take a quarterback. Cam Ward's the number 1 quarterback in the class. Let it rip. But, I wonder if there are conversations in that front office of, look, can we just take a safer pick? Can we just take Abdul Carter? Can we just take Travis Hunter and try and figure this quarterback thing out later? Like, I just don't know if because not only are we unsure about the quarterback prospects, but then you look at who you're passing on, and you're looking at some pretty gnarly players. So I don't know. I mean, I wonder if the closer we get to the draft, if we do get any talk at all about the Titans kind of lessening on the Cam Ward thing. Okay, so now they go to 3. Or I guess let's see who they go with first. They go
legitimately play both at the pro level. Hit the uniqueness of who he is as a football. Number 3.
They go Travis Hunter 2. Okay, so then 3, they're saying a trade. Now, this is kind of wild.
Have any Travis Hunter thoughts? And considering him for the Giants or wishing that you would have got here, feel free to do that as you sort of talk about who you would now select at number 3 for the Giants.
Yeah, that kind of does piss me off because I really wanted Travis Hunter at 3. So
I bet it does, brother.
Yeah. And I look at Cleveland's depth chart at receiver. You got Judy, you got Woods, you got Tillman.
So it says in here, Panthers trade with Giants. So the Panthers in this mock go up from 8 to 3. And let's see why.
Draft, he is the very best one. What's the cost, right? If the Giants are going to take like 40 cents on the dollar in a crap draft just because they want to move down, why would they? Like, they shouldn't. And unless they're going to do that, I'm going to preserve the picks and do something else. But love the player, love the fit. I just don't think I'm down with the cost.
So something I want to bring up, just because of the structure of the Giants defense, I almost kind of feel like Abdul would play the same role that Brian Burns does.
Yep,
absolutely.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of throws a wrench into it. It's like, what if Jacksonville wanted to come up, right? What if
Sure.
What if the Patriots were like, we really want Abdul, Travis is already gone, we have no interest in Shador. Like, what if the plan was, which is what we think it is, based on, I don't know, everything, they're going to do Shador anyway. What would it cost for the Patriots?
All right, so now they're saying they think Shador is going to the Giants at 3, which, like we've talked about for the better part of a week, Shador could go 3, could go 9, could go 14, could go 21, could go 2. Who the hell knows?
To come up for a spot just to make sure they're getting Abdul instead of somebody who's below them who would then come up.
I'll tell you, I think Carolina would get aggressive.
That's the
at
move
8.
right there.
I think Carolina would get aggressive at 8.
So they get aggressive to
And
go
they
get
should,
Abdul
right?
Carter?
Carolina, you guys are good with it?
Yeah, I would sign
Oh
off
yeah,
on
we
this.
picked for 8. Oh yeah, let's go get Abdul Carter. I didn't even realize we were in the driver's seat, baby.
Yeah, Trev, we actually
There's the identity.
All right, so they have the Panthers trading up to get Abdul Carter. Now you have the Patriots. They have the Patriots going.
Timeline, just like go crazy over Tetro and McMillan, like, oh no, he's not even wide receiver 1, and now he's barely a first rounder. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go watch his lowest graded game that we have at PFF this past season. It was Northern Arizona, the second week of the season. It was his lowest graded game. The first 3 plays of that game, he's lined up in the slot. It's an inside slant route, first down. The second play of the game, he's lined up as an X receiver at the outside, does a great job eating up the cushion against off-zone coverage, breaks exactly where he needs to when the cornerback when he gets in the quarterback's blind spot. The corner panics, has to grab him, defensive pass interference, first down. The third play of the game, he has an inside block where he down blocks from the outside and springs a 50-yard run. And I'm like,
There's your
what
guy.
are we doing?
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing?
I don't know. It's Flagstaff slander. That's all that is. That's all I heard.
Incredible how polarizing Ted McMillan is. We have seen him mocked at 4, and we've seen him mocked at like 25. Todd McShay this week has McMillan as like, his 4th pass catcher. He's got him below Matthew Golden, and now he's about to go 4 in this one. So he goes 4 to the Patriots. So if this holds up, you got Stephon Diggs and McMillan now operating with Drake May in New England. For Jacksonville, they go, let's see.
In terms of where they are in their career right now, it's just I think it really speaks to the fact that everybody, all fan bases are in this kind of same quandary of it doesn't matter if you're at 5 or 15 or 20. This draft levels out really, really quick. And then it's just, like you said, Trev, you got to pick good players, but good players are defined by what you need, where you are in your contract structure, where you are in your team building. And it is a very different draft for that. So to your point, Connor, somebody said earlier, oh, well, you don't do X in the top 15, or you never pick this position, before 20. And I'm like, just throw all that stuff out the window this year.
Yeah, I've always thought about that too. Because it's like if you're drafting at whatever, 8, and it's like, oh man, you never take a guard in the top 15. And say, okay, well, I want a guard. Like, okay, well, we need this. Like Jacksonville. Is he about to take Tyler Warren? Is that what he's about to allude to? Like, oh, you never take a tight end in the top 5. Okay, well, we need this guy, and we need this player, and we want him on the team. Like, we look around the league, look at Brock Bowers, look at, all the good teams, Sam Laporta, look at all the teams have good tight ends. Like, this is where the NFL is going. I'm guessing that's where he's going to go with this pick.
This is
totally
a
fair.
very different draft.
Lock us in for Genty then.
All right, Ashton Genty, number 5 overall.
Damn.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. Would love to hear what any Jags fans who are listening.
Wow, that would be crazy for Jacksonville to take Genty at 5. Okay.
What they think of that one, or at least
Wow.
just even the conversation that we had there for a league that
All right, so now we're going to the Raiders. Shador is still on the board, obviously. But
is
now
I think,
Genty's
turning
gone.
around
So Genty being gone can kind of changes things for the Raiders. I think they're desperate for Genty.
a little bit from and
An actual wide receiver that can run for this team. That'd be nice.
Matthew
Who?
Golden?
Like Jalen Noel.
are you
Bing.
taking like Jaden Higgins?
Sure. Keep going. We have a lot of options.
Yeah.
Rock Taylor.
Ooh, all
Sixth
the way
round.
down.
I mean, Matthew Golden would be the true burner. Matthew Golden at 6 would be absolutely insane.
All the
Memphis,
way
shout
down.
out. Shout out to Memphis.
The 7-round
all
mock draft stream.
Who's,
We'll get all
who
of
is
this.
actually all right. Mason Graham and Jaden Higgins,
Oh, man.
Trey Harris, Jalen Noel.
I mean, it gets deep. Like, the wide receivers are crazy deep this year. Go ahead and take Xavier Restrepo off there, Mr. whatever it was, 4'8", 440. But, yeah, you go Mason Graham at 6, you come back around, you end up with Betch or Harris or Noel or Higgins or whoever. Like, okay, we're rocking and rolling.
You wouldn't pick Restrepo. You wouldn't pick Jack Bash.
While we were recording, we're seeing that Restrepo ran a 4.8 or 4.9.
Yeah, we saw
Yeah.
that.
Whoa.
Yeah, while we were
Yeah.
recording. I mean,
Ran like a 4.84, but he said his hamstring tightened up while he was running, which, I mean, I could run a 4.84, 4.9 right now.
we don't have official pro day times on that, but I was like, wow.
Yeah, I chose not to believe it.
Yeah, same. I have
I mean,
never
you
scrolled
kinda
away from
can't
something
believe
fast.
it. Like, how's he going to run a 5?
Didn't
How's he
see
going to
it.
run a
I
5?
wasn't at the pro day with a stopwatch. It can't be real.
Okay,
Toxic.
all right. Okay, Mason Graham and Jaden Higgins, or Tyler Warren and Tyleek Williams.
I love both combos, but I'd still go with the first one to make the team that much better.
I mean, you can't draft Tyler Warren if you're the Raiders. Like, you're just going to have every tight end in the league.
You don't agree? Let's go with your scenario.
No.
Oh, so they go Tyler Warren. How in the world?
I was going to give you Mason
Quiet.
Graham. You're
Oh,
right.
he'll
you would be
loudly
quiet
hate
about
you.
it.
He knows how.
You'd open up the show. Connor, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, jackass. Well, I'm still thinking about that dumbass pick you made in the last
Been
mock.
stewing.
All right.
I haven't talked to
Okay.
anybody in a week. Don't
All right,
fucking
Tyler Warren
call
at
me.
6.
I mean, doesn't that seem insane to anybody else? Like the Raiders going Bowers, Warren. They still have the Michael Mayer problem. I mean, on one hand, like I said, pass catchers are pass catchers. So if you're saying, you know what, we got Brock Bowers, we got Tyler Warren, good luck. But at the same time, it's like, man, you're getting a little too cute. Like, that might be a little too cute to go Bowers and Warren. I respect it. You would have to be really, really, really creative. You're setting up for something good there offensively, but it seems like a little bit of a reach. So now we have the Jets at 7. Shador's still on the board, but if you're okay with Justin Fields, which I certainly wouldn't be, but if you want to give Justin Fields a year, see what you got him on a, whatever it is, $20 million deal. realistically, they probably aren't in the Shador market at 7. So a lot of different angles you can go if you're the Jets here.
Connor, it gets gross.
So they go Armand Mimbu. So, first tackle off the board, goes to the Jets. I think that's a really safe pick. I think the Jets would be smart to just go ahead and get the best tackle there unless someone else fell, but I like that for the Jets. So now the Giants are on the clock after trading down. Great case scenario for the Giants. You trade down, Shador is still there, and you can still do some other stuff too if you want. Like Mason Graham's still there. Ton you can do here at 8 for the Giants. They go
as a run defender. I like him a lot as a run defender. Who's on the board?
Oh man, I do
That's
so
where I
love
need a little
watching you
help,
paint
BJ.
yourself into the corner of the kitchen.
I mean, so Will Campbell's there,
True.
right? If you want to put him at one of the guard spots.
So that's kind of the split right now. Is Campbell a guard or a tackle? I believe it's a guard. Do you take a guard at 8? It would be the Giants conversation.
Would that interest you?
Until they fixed their secondary, this was a pretty easy pick for me. But I feel like, they've, getting Javon Holland really gave them a boost in the secondary, and Paulson Adebo too. Like they went out and did work to fix their secondary. So, that sort of pick went away, and now, yeah, I could certainly be convinced of guard. I believe in, the value of guard even this high, which again is the stretch.
Until he doesn't declare after next year, which I cannot wait for. I'm so serious, too. No, I'm so serious.
It's my favorite dance, Connor. It's better next year. It's better next year. It's better next year. Well, you've been without a quarterback for 3 years. Is it?
I'll collect another NIL check and stay here.
Yeah.
All right,
Austin's
so
pretty nice.
Will Campbell with the Giants at 8, and now you guys are up with the Saints at number 9.
All right, so here's the board. If it plays out like this, I don't think there's any way the Saints could turn down Mason Graham. If you're looking at McMillan's off the board, Campbell's off the board, Mimbu's off the board, like now you're getting a little deeper at a lot of these positions. If you have to take Genty's off the board, I think here you have to go Mason Graham. The only other thought, I mean, there are some other thoughts, like Jalen Walker's a thought, Jod Campbell's a thought, but I hate the cornerback route. I think cornerback is such a, like, you know how they used to say, no stock, like no one's going to get fired for telling someone to buy IBM. You know what I mean? It's like it's a boring stock, it's a safe stock, it's not going to fail nor do great. It's just like something you could throw out there with absolutely zero risk. That's how I feel like cornerback is, where you can just say, yeah, take Jahdae Barron or take whatever cornerback you have up, and then it's like, okay, yeah, cool, that sounds good. All right, next pick. So I really hope the Saints do not go corner. I understand they pseudo need it, but they pseudo need everything. And if Mason Graham is there and all these other guys are gone, you're not debating between Tyler Warren, you're not debating between Ashton Genty, you're not debating between McMillan or Will Campbell or any of these guys. You've got to go Mason Graham here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is always a tricky one. It's always a tricky one.
Yeah, it is
So
hard.
my first instinct, EJ, is just based on best players on the board that I'm really confident are going to be really good players in the NFL.
Yeah.
My first instinct is Jahdae Barron or Malachi Starks.
Yeah, like if you're going, like, why would you go Malachi Starks? I understand, like, okay, Tyron's getting older. You just got Justin Reed. Mason Graham solves an issue for you immediately. Solves the run defense problem. Gives you a legit guy in the middle of the defensive line, something you just absolutely do not have on the roster. Like, you can sit here and talk yourself into, oh, we're okay outside. We have Alontae Taylor. We got Kool-Aid McKinstry. We're okay in the secondary. We've got Justin Reed. We got Tyrann. Okay, we're chilling. You cannot do that on the interior defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
What say you?
They're both great players. In terms of need, I don't know that they're crying out for either. But
Yeah,
So
thank you.
secondary right now, they're starting secondary is Isaac Yiadom, Alontae Taylor, Kool-Aid McKinstry at corner, and then Tyron and Justin Reed at safety.
Yeah.
So like Malachi would be the heir apparent at safety.
Yeah, so you're going to draft your heir apparent safety at 9th overall with Mason Graham sitting there?
And they have Jordan Howden too, who has played for them a little bit. He's halfway through his rookie season, but
Yeah.
I love Malachi. I don't think they'd pick Malachi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
he's a
way.
great player. It seems kind of stacked up.
They're
Yeah.
also gonna. I think they're gonna play Alontae Taylor in the slot a lot. So it's just not. There's kind of a logjam for him. Yeah.
So it really comes down to if you think Jahdae Barron, who did play a lot outside at Texas, was a cover corner who spent 90% of his snaps, the highest percentage of any corner in this class in off coverage. Played a lot of that shuffle technique out there because he's just an unreal zone corner playing in a defense that's going to be made.
Yeah, primarily, we all know the Brandon Staley, Vic Fangio, it's going to be that primarily zone kind of situation.
Majoring in zone coverage.
Yeah.
I could see him being I could see him being what the Chargers thought Asante Samuel Jr. was going to be, but like a much better version of it as like an outside field side corner, right? And if you really want to be a nickel, obviously he can be a spectacular nickel. Like that's the fit for Jahdae Barron in New Orleans specifically. For some teams, they'll just see him as a nickel because he's so good there. So it's like, do you value that enough to take it here, or best player on the board for you? Maybe like Jahad Campbell being the heir apparent to Demario Davis?
I think they're gonna love Jahad Campbell.
Why is no one talking about Mason Graham? Like currently, best player available fits biggest need. Seems like it would be incredibly easy to make this pick. Now, I do like Jahad Campbell. He would be my second out of everyone they're talking about. I do like him a lot.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
well,
he's
such
awesome.
an
He's
player.
awesome.
I think
So
they
awesome.
would absolutely take Jahad Campbell.
I'd be okay with that.
I mean, that feels better to me. Like he's got a clear path to playing time.
Yeah, I agree. Like when you're talking about drafting these players and you aren't even sold on their playing time, there's not even a path to them getting on the field for a team that just won 5 games that is starved for talented players. You're going to draft an heir apparent safety or one of your 4 cornerbacks. You just move people around, or you draft your every snap defensive lineman or every snap linebacker. Like in this exact situation right here, it better be between Mason Graham, Jahad Campbell, or I'm rioting.
Then,
Yeah.
quite frankly, probably either of the guys in the secondary just because of who
Yeah,
they have there
agreed.
and how they're stacked.
Agreed.
Of course, I've been saying that about Demario Davis for the last couple of years. He keeps proving me way wrong, so he seems kind of immortal. What about the running back debate? Like, they've got a lot of running backs.
They only have one. The rest of them are ass. And Genty's gone. I don't think you take Hampton at 9 with some of these guys on the board. I think if you're in a trade down situation or it stacks up a little differently, but I think at this point now you're saying I'll wait until the 3rd round. I'll wait and get somebody. I don't think you reach here. It is a need, though.
You're thinking
Alvin-
Amarian?
I'm getting there.
Amarian Hampton is the perfect complement to Alvin Kamara. I'll say that. But I would not want to take him at 9.
But are they ready for it?
Yeah.
I don't. Well,
They're more ready for it than they are for anything else they said. They are much more, or they have been. I don't know what Kellen Moore's going to do exactly, but they have been much more like, yeah, we'll split carries. Yes, we will give Alvin, 15 carries, and then give someone else 10 carries. I mean, they force-fed Jamal Williams for 3.1 yards a carry for 2 years. Like Taysom's hurt, so they don't have those carries. Alvin does work best in that kind of thunder and lightning, like we saw with Mark Ingram. So I think Omarion Hampton would have a better shot to play and a better shot of impacting early than Malachi Starks would. And Kellen Moore just came out of that, run heavy, run wins kind of philosophy. Again, I think 9 is super high for Omarion. That's why I think if Genty fell, I think Genty makes a lot of sense because, 1, he's the heir apparent. but he's going to get a ton of playing time his rookie year. It'd be a very Jahmyr Gibbs-esque situation.
You know, Penning, Ruiz, McCoy, Nick Salvadori.
It's just my big worry. My big worry is like, is this a team that's even in a position to be that audacious?
No, I don't think they probably are. So I would love it if there was some hulking right defensive end that we could slot in behind Jordan Cameron, but they went out and got Chase Young, and they got Foskey, and again,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the edge. Edge is something we talk about all the time, where Saints need edge. Saints need edge. And then you look at it, and you look at Carl Granderson, you look at Chase Young, and it's like, well, I mean, they're kind of chilling. Like, okay, maybe there are bigger needs. And you start looking at the needs, and obviously interior defensive line, obviously linebacker, wide receiver depth, running back depth, stuff like that. But offensive line, same thing. Like, do they need offensive line help? Sure, but not at left tackle, not at center. You could argue they're okay at right guard. You could argue they're okay at right tackle right now, unless you wanted to kick Trevor Penning inside. So then it's like left guard. Left guard's a need. I think the secondary is relatively okay if you wanted to pass on safeties and corners in the first round, which then leads you to Genty if he's there, Tyler Warren if he's there is worth a thought. I still think that with Jawan Johnson's big contract, and like, I don't know about that either, but it leads you to interior defensive line, left guard, Genty if he's there, McMillan if he's there, Matthew Golden, I guess, if you think Golden is the true number one in this class.
And they've got.
But then Shador is the question. Shador is the big question right now, if he's there at 9. Because you weren't expecting him to be there. You do have a question mark at quarterback. Does Kellen Moore like him? Or do they want to get cute and try and find a way to get Jackson Dart or whoever else later?
Guys there, again, not stars necessarily, but I don't think there's somebody cut from that cloth at the top of this draft either. So here we are again, sort of juggling like, well, what's good? And we're talking about a bunch of good players. Jahdae Barron, great player. Malachi Starks, great player. I don't know.
I mean, I'm good with Jihad if you are.
I think it makes sense for him.
Jihad feels the
so, too.
safest to me. Like if it's
Right,
what
yeah.
we would do, I would sleep really well knowing that even if Demario Davis
It's
has
what you would do.
another great year.
I'd feel totally fine if we're watching this on draft night and they end up with Jihad Campbell. I would say, okay, they got a really good player at a position we need. Okay, we got a brand new defense, brand new system. Let's go ahead and build it the right way. All right, I'd be totally fine with this pick.
Year in him that he's still going to get playing time because he's that versatile. So I love that, right? You're not going to be sitting your top 10 pick. He's going to be on the field. Whether
which
it's
is
as a pass
important for
rusher,
us.
whether it's in coverage on third downs, you need a guy that can really run. He could do all that as well. So he's versatile. Again, people are going to look at it and go, what are you talking about? Inside linebacker in the top 10, you just don't do that. I'm like, well, then who would you have taken? Because these are tough decisions, and I don't think there's a lot of lockdowns. We're only not even 10 picks in, and we've been struggling for the last 6. So it's going to be very
Let's just
much
do
eye of
Jihad
the
then.
beholder. Yeah,
Okay.
I think Jihad is probably
I'm cool with that.
the safest from a talent fit wise, and he's going to get used in his rookie year, even if it's not in
which is important.
what will
I
eventually
agree.
be his primary role.
Yeah, hour into this podcast, and we're 9 picks in. Very classic for the four
yeah,
of us
100%.
getting together.
Because
All right, so
character
the Bears are
concerns.
at 10. Let's see what they do with the Bears.
They didn't take just the Bears are the Bears.
San Francisco 49ers.
The Bears go Mike Green here.
Great Jahdae Barron.
So now they go the 49ers at 11. They go Jahdae Barron at 11. The Cowboys at 12. A lot of players they could force here for the Cowboys. They go.
Play around with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about it, and I just think this is a really good defensive lineman that they need to add to the defensive line.
They're going Mason Graham.
So, any other thoughts here, Connor, on any other player? And look, I understand there's physical limitations with Graham, and like you said, like he might not be this like crazy prolific pass rusher, but Michigan did use him in a lot of different alignments.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's very interested to hear
And I mean, agree.
All right, so they go Graham at
can use
12.
upgrades
They
on the offensive line.
go
for 14.
Derek Harmon at 13. The Colts, they go Colston Loveland. Okay, good pick. That's good for them. The Falcons are exclusively drafting defense, I would assume. They go, let's see. Who do we got, fellas? What's going on with the internet? What's happening? Is this on me? They go Donovan Izraku, the edge from Boston College. Okay. Cardinals up. They go Will Johnson. Bengals are up. They go who do they go with for the Bengals? Kelvin Banks Jr. All right. Will Johnson with the for the Cardinals. Good players here. Greg Zabel, North Dakota State, goes to the Seahawks. The Bucks get Kenneth Grant. Broncos at 20. This has got to be Omari and Hampton, I would assume. Yep. Let's see. Yep, Omari and Hampton, 20. The Broncos would do anything to have Ashton Genty there at 20, but if not, then Omari and Hampton's going there. They need a running back in the worst way. Steelers, 21, Shador Sanders. All right, so they have Shador falling to 21, which is absolutely possible if he escapes 3. Because if it's not the Saints and it's not the Colts, and it would be crazy if the Colts took him, but if it's not the Saints, he's going to fall. And then Pittsburgh's for sure going either Shador or Jackson Dart. Then we'll just do this real quick. The Walter Nolan goes to the Chargers. Packers take Brady Swinson. Vikings go Malachi Starks. Texans have to take a tackle. Josh Simmons. This has got to be Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons goes to the Texans. The Rams. This could be Jackson Dart. Depends on how they want to maneuver, but Jackson Dart would be absolutely fine here. Let's see what they do. Jalen Walker, all right, falling to 26. Jalen Walker, stud. Ravens. They're gonna go James Pierce. Okay, Igbuka. Nice. Igbuka gets up into the first round. Now Matthew Golden's still on the board. So there's a little bit of differentiator there. Next up is the Lions. They have the Lions going Shamar Stewart. Okay. The Commanders go Nick Scourton, Tyleek Williams, but when was this done? Because didn't Tyleek Williams get hurt during his pro day? Then we have the Chiefs, Josh Connolly Jr. The Eagles go Luther Burden right there. So, wow. So, Matthew Golden falls out of the first. Who else? I guess Michael Williams. So, that's kind of the question marks there. So, there it is. That is your stock exchange draft. Interesting stuff. So, what'd you think? What did you think about the Saints pick? Is that what you would have done, or would you have gone Mason Graham? I think it's a 2-horse race in this situation, if it's me. But if you're concerned about Graham's measurables, maybe you talk yourself into John Campbell, and I would be totally fine with that. Ladies and gentlemen, get on down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.